my creative peeps, it's Craftin' Just Because with Cowan, and today I am playing with the Forever Fern bundle. And it has these beautiful pieces of greenery, some great sentiments. You can do this, hello, love and laughter, forever after, and to a friend that makes me smile. And then the dies are just excellent. There's a great variety of dies. As you can see, there's excuse me, I've got the hiccups. Tons of them to work with. So that's fun. And we are going to be creating this gorgeous card. Let me get that card for you. And it's inspired by a card that I saw from Wendy Cranford from Lovely Stampers. And it's called the 3 Crossover Fun Fold. And so it opens like this. And it's just something different than you usually see. So I thought I would show you guys how to make this. So we are going to be using Pear Pizzazz, Shaded Spruce, some Whisper White, and then this is the designer series paper that we're using as well. So don't worry about taking down the measurements. I have linked my blog with all the information below, and it'll have all the measurements and the directions, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So first what we want to do is we want to bring in our paper trimmer, and you're going to want a piece of cardstock that is cut by 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And this color is Pear Pizzazz from Stampin' Up. And we are going to score it on both of the long ends on the 11-inch side at 2 3/4. So I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to score it 2 3/4. And then I'm going to flip that around, and I'm going to score it at 2 3/4 again. Okay, that is done. We're going to get rid of our paper trimmer. Before we burnish those score lines, I've already pre-cut all the measurements, and I'll tell you guys those when we start putting it together. But I have a scrap of Whisper White cardstock here, and I'm going to be using Pear Pizzazz and Shaded Spruce ink, and we are going to go ahead and stamp a couple floral images and get those die cut out. So let me get a block. First use my, oh, whoops, I grabbed Garden Green. Let's grab Shaded Spruce. That was silly. I'm glad I caught that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that image down. Then I'm going to close that up so I don't get ink all over myself. And I'm going to really quick wipe this off with just a wipey just for the convenience of the video. And then we're going to stamp with Shaded Spruce here. Or that's Shaded Spruce. We're going to stamp with Pear Pizzazz. Am I making it nice and confusing for you all? There we go. Okay, so now we're going to want to come in with our die cuts, or dies, and cut these out. And I wanted to show you a trick, so that's why I wanted to do this online. Sometimes I go ahead and pre-stamp the images, but in this case I did not. I'm going to bring my die cutting machine in. I'm so excited for our new die cutting machine to come out. Should be here soon. But what I wanted to show you is, one, you could cut multiple images at one time, but two, when you want to be very precise, in this case, we're going to use what's called Post-it tape. And you can get it on Amazon. You can use washi tape as well, but Post-it tape I find is nice because it's repositionable and you can use it a couple times. So I just go ahead, put my die down where I want it to go, and then I put that Post-it note tape right over it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get those die cut out. And then let's move the machine. And now we have one more thing to stamp. And then we could start putting all of these layers together. So there's one. And there's two. Okay. So now what we want to do is there we go. I am going to stamp on my scrap here, hello, from this stamp set. And I'm going to stamp the same color on the same color cardstock. So we're using shaded spruce. I'm going to press that down just like that. Then I'm going to take our classic label punch. And I'm going to punch this out just like that. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. We're going to come in with our big piece of Pear Pizzazz in our bone folder, and we're going to burnish those score lines. This side looks a little rough. I'm just going to take my sanding block here and get rid of all those little stragglers. There we go. Okay, so for the inside, we've cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And excuse my reach there. I do want to stamp an image on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in some greenery. And get that stamped down just to add some niceness to the card. I also will do this with my envelopes as well. I like to coordinate my envelopes with my cards. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and adhere this on down into the card. Use whatever adhesive you would like. I'm using my liquid multi-purpose glue just because that's what I'm usually drawn to. Okay. Next, I'm going to take 2 pieces of the shaded spruce that are cut at 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. And I'm going to put on top of those some Forever Greenery Designer Series paper, 2 that are cut at 2 1/2 by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and layer these on down. Okay, now we're going to layer these onto our card fronts, just like that. I love, you know, it's funny, I wasn't sure that I would love this paper. I absolutely love this paper. I love all the greens in it, and it just is so gorgeous. Okay, so now that we have that done, Now we have 3 strips of shaded spruce that are cut at 3/4 by 3 5/8. And then we have 3 pieces of designer series paper that is cut at 5/8 by 3 1/2. We're going to layer those on top of each other, and I'm going to put it on a different background because I want it to be opposite of what our card fronts were.